Hello there, and welcome back to another stream of game development from Kaado at UGS. So today we have another game development for our future to be released
Hello there.
soon TM game Droian, and today development will be about programming. Yes, indeed. Welcome everyone. I see chat was already with stuff, as for those who have entered the waiting screen have noticed. Well, as per usual, I mean it's already branding that, well, we have to have flaws starting the stream, meaning this internet connection always breaking up, you know. I have to remove some invaders in here. But anyway, we already are free, and I hope the internet doesn't go poo poo again. Well, so we have coding, and we may or may not use this. Yes, I may explain what I'm doing today. Yes, indeed. We pray for the internet providers. I mean, if we pray for them, they are just going to take our money and give you even less internet. So let's just hope they don't do a bad job, as per usual. But anyway, so, for those of you, you probably know the game that I'm doing right now, but this is going to be on YouTube and so on, so people may not know what I'm doing today. So, basically, I'm developing a Metroidvania-like game, 2D platform adventure type game, And yes, we may already have a page to explain exactly that. So let's just open a browser, because, we have a website to show. I love the EE and on the background just bugging out, looking like he's on crack. EE? Ian. Yeah, he's in there, he's in there. Let's just ugs.pt, yes, that's our website. Untitled Game Studios, so ugs.pt because we are based in Portugal. But anyway, we have, a website, yes, indeed. And that website basically explains, what we are, what we do. In this case, it's game development. And, we are making a game. Surprise. Well, not really. You may know what we are doing in here. But, this is Droian. Of course, we have other games as well. Other games, in quotes, because it's not really full games. It's just prototype, alpha-esque type thingy that we have released on itch.io just to have, something to show people. And yeah. Well, this is our 3 games. We kind of have more, not that much more, but we have other projects, other games on the side that we haven't shown, and will probably not will because, we kinda trying to finish Droian, and then finish Exauria and Red Run. But anyway, talking about multi-project side, you have available Exauria and Red Run alphas on itch.io. By the way, I must explain for the previous users that the Exauria that we have seen on streams and on VODs available on YouTube aren't the same version of this Exauria. Basically, this was the alpha / prototype that we have developed while we were at uni. So we were studying a master's degree about design and video game development. And this was made on P5 JavaScript, so JavaScript with the P5 library, but now we are remaking this game on Godot. Well, then why am I doing Droian instead of this game then? No? Well, if you access each page, you may know there's probably on description or not, and don't make sound. Sound please, come on, yes. Yes, warning, this will blow your eardrums, so be careful. Well, I see the description doesn't have the 10 word things about this game, so this is basically 2D adventure RPG-esque, game. An isometric view. It's isometric not, it's like a top view. Not really top view, it's kinda 45 degrees. I forgot the 10 word thing to describe this game. But 2D pixel art RPG game. RPG wannabe. And for those of you, there you go. 2D retro turn-based action fantasy with rock paper scissors system. There you go. There is the words. Top down. It's yes, but when I say top down, I usually have in my brain the top down from the GTA games, or top down from even chess. Those type of games, because I'm old school like that, But this can be considered top down as well, Video game descriptions can be weird like that. But yeah, it's a turn-based RPG game. It's kinda, Japanese inspired, but also not, because this is like fantasy medieval style, with mythical creatures and whatnot. But yeah, this is our RPG that we want to make. But because it's an RPG and every game developer knows that RPGs take a hell of a time to make, we didn't want to be a lot of time without doing nothing, without showing nothing. Well, we kind of show because we are streaming development, we can see the game progressing and stuff, but to give you something to our viewers, to our public, to publish actually something that you want to play and not just like rudimentary prototype alpha thing, we actually want to release a game, and we want to release a game soon. TM, our new meme is soon, TBD. So that's why we are developing Droian, which is a very small scope game that we want to release, It's way smaller in scope compared to Exauria. So yeah, hopefully it will be released, like Roxy said in chat, soon TM. And we have in here, in the page for our game, there is no alpha available for this game, and like that. We actually have an alpha version developed by Pixel John, because originally it was his, his project. But, well, we kinda have an internal meeting, and, this game was chosen to be developed, because we actually want to release a game instead of releasing a game in like 10 years or something like that. But there you go, Droian. And going back to what we were doing the last stream, because I haven't picked this project yet, yes. And if you have paid attention in the last 2 weeks, you may know, because I was sick, I'm way better. I'm probably full cured. Haven't lost my sense of smell or taste or anything like that. But yes, I have the illness that must not be named, For the first time, actually. It was the first time that I have a positive test on that thing, You sound healthy, thank you. I hope so. At least I'm not coughing that much anymore, so yeah. Yes, indeed, Kenobi. You actually know those damn bugs in code and IRL really screwing me around. I can never get rid of them. Goddamn bugs. But you know, that was a thing. I'm much better now. And yeah, there is our Ian and the platform. And for those of you who actually have been in the previous week and have seen the Pixel John stream, he's actually in chat, you may have seen a platform being drawn. Yes, indeed. Which means we have goodies. And that's what I've been doing this afternoon. Because my source tree, because we have used GitHub repositories in here, it kinda screwed me around with logins and yada yada. I couldn't do fetch pull to get, the stuff to work for this stream. But it actually, well, I kinda make it before the stream. It didn't prevent us from having a flawed or a flawless start to the stream because internet thingies. But I have the goodies, which is what's the most important thing, So let's just open the new goodies. Well, the goodies that I'm going to use for this stream. I hope. Where's the goodies? So let's just try and open this. Well, I'm going to open this out of the screen, I'm actually, going around, I just don't want to dox myself or show other stuff and other projects. So let's just go to the art. Yes, it should be somewhere in here. So let's just see. Yes, indeed. There is a lot of stuff in here. Ooh. Can I show them? Let's see. Pixel John, can I show the interactable objects folder to the stream? So they have a sneak peek. I mean, they have seen most of the stuff on your stream. Yeah. Let's go. There you go. A lot of stuff in here. Let's just make it bigger so you can actually see. Yes, indeed. So we have platforms and more platforms and even more platforms, pressure plate, switch, and yay, I can replace everything, which is freaking awesome. And that's actually what we are going to do in this stream. So let's just move this folder away. Yes, show me what you got. There you go. I mean, it's something, Something to just start making this game, better. So for now, we can already replace this button, which is from legacy stuff, and this pressure plate, which is kind of a stretch out button, You actually have art for this thing. And also the platforms. I'm only missing the doors. Weak for blah blah blah. Yeah, don't worry. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Well, the doors are done when they are done, The important thing is that, for now, platforms. That's the important thing. That's what I'm going to do now. So, let's just see. We have the art folder, which is going to be the place where I put the things, and actually giving props to Pixel John, giving props to him, he actually named the things like, like a programmer will give 5-star to this, These are actually nice, You have platform caves, _ what they are, .png, whatever, this is the type of file. I'm getting better at naming. Yeah, yes indeed, yes you are. Although this is the type of thing that we made in code, which is the first letter with the p small, this doesn't need to be done in files. But doesn't matter. It's, consistency. That's more important thing. As long as there's consistency in this, that's what matters. And I'm very happy to see this. It's not like platform underscore v1 underscore v2 underscore final this time, release, that kind of hell that I, for the most part, have to fix. And yeah, I'm actually loving this. Thank you. So, where do I put this thing now? So we have button, have explosions. I mean, these are animations, some kind of animations. If these are animated objects, then animated objects. And let's just create folders for what we have today. So we have platforms. Alright. So let's just create a folder for platforms. Platforms. Let's just create another for switches. And another folder for pressure plates. There you go. So platforms, let's just not this one, so platforms, there we go. We have our 3 platforms. Before I move on, let's just, do the thing in here, because, that's what we want. Apply. So we don't forget. There's multiple. Apply. Wait. Have I forgot how to do this? I probably did. There's this pixel unit thing as well. It was 14 or 16? I don't remember. I think it was 14, but I might be wrong. Let's just... Well, Ian. 100. Ian is 100. When did Ian become 100? Why? Great question. Let's just see. Cow is 14. This is 16. This is 16. 16. Cow is 14. Final boss is 16. Player is 100 for some reason. 40. Well, as per usual, future Kaado can, he'll have a fun time looking at these values, Future Kaado, he can deal with this thing. Let's just go back, let's just do the right thing and pretend we didn't see that. Future Kaado, he can deal with that. But anyway, let's go back to here and, what was I doing? Yeah. Before I do the thing in here, it's important to, do the thing in here. So let's just apply this thing. This is point. Exactly what I wanted. And let me see. Then I know I went back to make all the assets in scene P16, but I may have forgotten to fix that on the prefabs. I'll get to that. Well, it's just a little task to do. I mean, a lot of things have been missed because of Ian. Ian is 100 for some reason, and he may be exported in a weird resolution. I don't know. Well, as I've said, future Kaado and future Pixel John can worry about that, you know. For now, let's just focus on what we have, you know. That's the most important thing. Well, no one in chat has remembered me about something that I have forgot. And yet again, a flawed stream as per usual. Because you may have not noticed, but I have. We are missing the music. Yes, indeed. So as per usual, I'm going to play the music. I don't think I have access to the Droian thingy, the Droian folder music yet, but I have my usual, not royalty free. I own the rights to play this music on stream and use them on games. This isn't my music, but I have the rights to play it on stream, so no copyright strikes or anything weird. And they are chiptune 8-bit style music. So let's just play it. Let us see the volume. I don't know if the volume is good or not. Probably is. I don't know. I think it's in the GitHub folder, under audio folder. Yeah, I think it's nice to have a variety. Oh, volume seems nice. I mean, I'm already playing this music, so yeah, maybe next stream. Let's just focus on the game, which is the most important thing. Now, I need to edit this right, you know, and divide them by the, the things that we need. So, I can just make an auto slice thing, but actually, I can try. What could go wrong? I know this could be very... Okay. Well, that's what happened when I try to be lazy. So alright, let's do by count and do the right thing. So I have 3 rows and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe. And let's just slice. Now, the pivot dot should be on the top, or on the bottom, or center. I mean, center is alright, I believe. Yeah. There we go. Now there's going... Ooh, Unity doesn't have this bug anymore. Ooh. Yes. We don't have those empty, just alpha sprites. That's actually nice. That's actually nice. There you go. Now we just have to do the same thing, but again. And it's actually the same thing, the same resolution, I believe, or at least the same number of things. So I can just slice, apply, select, do the same thing, slice, apply. And let's just make sure they have the same values and they are point no filter. It's important to be the filter mode to be point, because we want that pixel perfect when we export the the things to Unity. Alright, I have seen enough of this. Yes, indeed. So this probably will need to be 16, I believe. Let's just try 16 and see. So, Pixel John is in chat. It's 16 that you actually want, right? I mean, it kinda is, at least compared with the tile set. And if we, again, Ian is at 100, but if we compare to Ian, it's kinda, yes, it's actually 16. So I think this is right. Yes, I think that's about the size I wanted. Excellent, fantastic. So I can just go to the other objects. So I have platform, let's just import all the other things. And I have closed the folder, god damn it. I need to go there again. So I almost said the directory is on stream. Thankfully I have a brain cell to not do that. Now, where it is? There you go, I have found them. Fantastic. So, the next thing, pressure plates. A single brain cell, well, it was enough. Maybe I need to overclock it, you know? So it stopped leaving work for future Kaado and actually do the things that it should do, you know? There you go. So, center, 16, point no filter, and one by one sprites thingy. Wait a second. The pivot point is up here, but oh god damn it, there is a lot of space. It's actually good space or it's just bad space? It's not good space, my friend. You could save memory and you could save resources by making this like 32 or 16 even. I don't know if 16 was enough for the full button, you know, vertically, but programming Kaado optimizer brain doesn't approve of this resolution, you know, because there's a lot of empty resolution in user and will be stored in memory. I mean, it's a pixel game. It will run probably on a potato, but you know, things. And this is actually, man, this is actually going to bother me. Let's just try to fix this in here. You know, that's probably the wrong export. It was supposed to not have that extra space above the pressure plates. Oh, well then. Alright. That's like designing is that one. Maybe it was something, maybe this is using the same resolution as platforms, maybe? I mean, not. It is not. It is not. It doesn't matter. No problem. That's actually not a problem. This could actually be smaller by putting two of them in here. Whatever. Don't worry about this stuff. It's just my nitpicking optimizer brain just working, and we can always do that if the game is slow, you know? Optimize in the future, you know? Just now, the most important thing for now is actually making the game work. So, to kind of fix my edit that I'm going to have in the future, I'm actually going to change the pivot point to the bottom center. Just to, you know, pixels? No, normalize, whatever. This thing... Wait a second, where's my... Okay, I need to apply this? No. Sprite editor. What am I doing wrong in here? Oh, I forgot. They must be multiple. Please select multiple. God damn it. I need to do this. So, multiple, apply. Now I can do the slash one by one. And bottom. And well, I can actually cut thing in here and try to make it... Ooh, alright. Then I may not do that. I may leave this on center and let's just try 4. Ooh, 4 is nice. 5 is not nice. But 4 it is. Now, it's 6? Yes, indeed. So I can cut in this. I could probably count the auto thing and it will work maybe, but yeah, well, slice. Apply, and there we go. We have a small one that we can use. There. It will not bother me that much anymore. So, let's do the same thing for the others, shall we? So, sprite editor, and let's just try apply the same thing. Slice, apply, and do the same thing for this one as well. There we go. So, now we have pressure plates in here that we can use, you know. Excellent. Now, we can't forget about the switch. We have 3 types of switch, and this is kinda wall mount or a remote switch type of thing. This should be an advanced society with a switch which has a big antenna. That's actually kinda nice. It's a retro throw thing about the old remote controls, you know. If you have like seen James Bond and like the evil man with like the control, like this huge ass remote with a big red button and a gigantic antenna to launch the missile, you know. But these actually have a dish antenna thing to use. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway. These things. And not forgetting 16, multiple, and points. Apply the thing. Sprite editor, and let's just do that. Now, this is 1 row, 6. Excellent. Slice this thing. Do the same thing in this one. So slice, apply. Excellent. And now this is a little different because there is more rows and 1, 2, 3. There we go. Pixel, remember me why there's 3 in here? Just to have an idea. I'll optimize the sprite sheets, it's not a lot of work or anything. For now, use those. Yeah, don't worry about that. It's just my typical nitpicking, try to be perfect, you know. There's no perfect things in this world, so don't worry. It's because it floats cause alien tech. Yeah, but they are different. They are kind of thing and white thing and then full white. It's because it floats cause alien tech. The other switch are stationary on the ground or wall. I know the other. Oh, do you mean the running switch? I thought that was an upgrade station, not a switch. Or am I wrong? I might be wrong. The top line is it off, the middle it's the switch being activated, and the bottom line is on. That thing you are talking about is an upgrade. By the way, chat, that's not a promise like running upgrade station or anything, you know. This may or may not be done. Don't wait for that. This might be one of those things that we cut off production. So no promising here. We are not promising anything about funny running upgrade stations, you know? But anyway, I'm actually going to maybe get Pixel John a little bit angry at me. And I will tell why. There's this thing about maybe use one or the other switch. No, the thing that I was trying to tell that you are going to be angry at me, it's not because of that. It's because you have a lot of work with this switch, and in my opinion, it's actually nice because the more frames we have, the better. But you remember about the simplifying and having less sprites to mimic the older animation, you know, that thing. We actually will be fine by having a switch with just one sprite off, one sprite on. Yeah, that is true. Yes, you have a lot of work doing these beautiful animations and things and that, and you know, simplifying animations could just be switch off, switch on, two sprites, you know, and actually no animation. But anyway, you have worked well, so thank you, and we actually going to have more animations in here. So yeah, great job, even though that could or could not be, you know, something that we ever required. Too much gene, yes indeed. Hey, at least you reminded me for that before I worked on the doors. Don't forget about the doors. Don't forget about the doors. The doors, the animation of the doors are hard-coded. It's actually not an animation, don't forget about that. The doors are moving in code and not in animation. You just need to make a sprite. You have a lot of sprites to do for the doors, because it's a door for every level, and there's different type of doors, like activated doors and deactivated doors and the instructable doors, and all those doors. You don't need to animate them, you just need to make a sprite for each of them. No more. Just that, you know? Maybe just use the pressure plates today on stream. Well, we shall see. For now, I'm just going to focus on the platform, and then, you know, we can think about buttons and switches and pressure plates, whatever, you know? Don't worry about that. I mean, I'm going to use the animation now, because it's done. But, you know, it was a thing that, you know, off, on, will be fine. I mean, I'm not the game director for this game, you know, I'm just the lead programmer. So my opinion may or may not be, you know, well, in my opinion, the more frames there is, the better. At most I'll give it a blinking light. I will simplify will not animate the door at all. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do something for the doors, I will be fine by just one sprite, you know, there's a sprite for the door. If you want to make it something that shows that it's activated or not, maybe a sprite that is deactivated and the other sprite that is activated. Actually, I'm going to ask you to do that, because it's, you know, useful. If you see our prototype level that I have created for the doors, you can see, you know, there's the automatic door and the open door, the switch thing and the activate auto door space thing, and, you know, pressure plate door. We don't know, well, we look at the doors and we don't know what they do, you know? So for example, we have the auto door, it's just a door, you can run to it, it will open, you don't have to worry about it. But then, for example, we have a puzzle in the game that you have to press a switch in the other room to activate the door, you know, like a security type room, you know, that you go in there to turn on the switch, to go down the stairs, and the door now opens because it's activated, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I will do, and add that on the Trello. In the GDD, there's a sharp turn indicating how many kinds of doors. Yes, indeed. Man, I'm just trying to save you work, you know? If you want to do multiple frames, go ahead. But, you know, at least remember that the door is moving by code and not animation. If you do the animations, I can make them, you know, do the animation thing in here, but they are fine, I believe, as they are. Now I don't want. There you go. Well, let's just go back to where were we, you know? Platforms. I can remove this thing, go in here, and let's see our platform. Now we have the platform, you know, we have done stuff in here, we have a sprite and the square and a lot of things in here. So in this platform, going back, platforms, I'm going to... which platform I will use? Let me see the style of platform that I want to use. Let's use one. I like this one. So let's start with this one. So let's just drag this thing in here and see what happens. Man, why you do this? If I drag a thing, it will be actually nice to be at the 0, you know? Well, so we can delete our platform thing, it's not needed anymore. This thing is our sprite. Let's just move it up. There you go. The square. What is this square? It's a sprite square. Why is... Oh, it was the shit thing that I have done to make the... Alright, okay. This is something that a programmer will not approve. A good programmer will not approve. You know, this was a thing to make the pivot dot on the object in the center of the thing, and let's just delete that. We don't need that. Now we have a sprite and we have the platform effector and we have the platform itself. Well, this is a new thing, so I need to resize the colliders and everything in it, so let's just quickly do that. So this is the... well, this thing in here, so let's just resize it correctly. Probably something like this. Well, count that to 3, I think it's fine. Wait. 3, and the Y value, it actually doesn't matter too much. It can be .64. The important thing is that stays in here at the top. So this is where the player is going to walk, you know, so it's important that stays in here. Maybe at... well, that's not pixel perfect in here. God damn it, my friend. Why? Why you do this to me? Will be 8? No, it isn't. God damn it, these things. I hate them. I really hate them. Because this is going to... well, actually this is going to be cleanup, like Pixel John said, so the resolution of these things may change, so this may change in the future as well, so whatever. So let's just give it a 6. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter too much. So I need to stop being a perfectionist. And this will be a 3.2 or .1, just slightly bigger and move it on the y-axis and in here. There we go. This thing is fine. Let's just see our platform moving. Can we jump over it? There we go. And we are riding it. There's some artifacts in here. That's probably the Unity slicing thing grabbing itself. It's probably catching the top of the next row because this is on rows. See? There is rows. And it's catching the top of this one. Actually, it's this one in here. It's probably catching up this top pixel and doing this. But it's Unity things, you know. That visual error. Yeah, this will be done in the future. Future Kaado or future Pixel John can fix on that. Well, the animation is what's important because, as you can see, it's just a static image. And it's actually the deactivated image. We need to fix that. So let's just do that. And let's just make sure this is the effector, not what... Well, it's deactivated. Do we need this in here? I think not. And do we need this in here? I think not. Before we continue, let's just sprite render just to see something in here. We know. There we go. Everything on the same game object. Fantastic. That's how I like it. It will be easier to, you know, do stuff in here. And the platform effector is basically something that I removed from here. It's the same code that I was using in the Kaado, but because the Kaado needs rework because it's buggy, I kinda rework that code in the platform on the platform scripts, and then I can just, you know, split off this code and use it on the Kaado. Don't worry, future Kaado things to do. Right now I just need to, you know, make sure the sprite render is in here properly, and yes. So let's go to window and start doing animation things. So we need the animator, and before we need the animator, we need the animation screen. So we have the animation screen and the animator. Fantastic. So let's select our platform, which is our object that actually has a sprite render, and let's create an animation. This animation, let's just show you this. It's being started on the platforms, which is actually what we want. Now, what this is called, actually. Something that they should change in here, so... Wait, I select all files, you don't show me the others in there? Why are you doing this? Well, I actually have this in here, so we can actually see the naming. So platform chip. So let's just call it platform chip underscore anim. So platform chip, and I'm not going to call it anim. The underscore anim will be reserved for the animator. This will be actually the underscore, the actual animation for this. So the animation for this, let me think. What do I want? I want to make an animation structure that I can use on every single animated object. You know? So this should have that for... Now that I have seen, maybe I have seen something that I actually don't like. Well, it doesn't matter. It's something that I can easily fix. I was thinking about something in there, it doesn't matter. It's about the animation, and I will explain Pixel John why. But right now let's just focus on the thing, which is the disable. Let's just call it off. Yeah, let's call it off. And this off can be like this. And the sample rate can be very slow, and let's just... Bruh, I said very slow. Had a lot of that back in the first version of mine, never figured out that visual error is. Well, this visual error actually happens... Well, it's about the cutting of the sprite sheet, because we tend to do things, you know, cut them and then the animation thing actually catch the bottom sprite and it shows in there and does that glitchy thing. That's a way to fix it, which is having having an empty pixel line at the bottom of the sprite and then adding that line in everything, and make sure when we cut the sprite we cut it by pixel and not by count like I have done, and make sure we are cutting the sprite exactly in the pixel size that we want, and then, you know, that bug disappear. But for now, well, let's just focus on this. So this is the off state for the platform. Let's create a new one. A on state. And the on state, I believe... Is the on state all of these ones? Or there's something that we use in here to move? Let's just see what Pixel John says in the chat, because he's actually the one that created the, you know, the sprite. Well, if he's not in chat, I can just wing it as well. There's not a thing. Well, let's just wing it, and then he can give us some feedback, you know? He may do something else right now. Let's just see what we can do. So it's flipping between gray and white, indicating that is, you know, on. It's some gradient now. I'm fine with that. Even though there's no gradient in Ian, you know. Well, things for future. So, we have this in here. I believe this is the movement, and this can be movement on vertical, and this can be movement on horizontal, probably. I don't know. I actually don't know the idea for this animation, so for now I'm going to leave them like this, you know? We have off, we have on. And that's that. Yeah. So, with that then, there's animator side. Yes, indeed. So in the animator time, we start with off. We'll need to create some parameters in here. When easy to do it, basically is on. And there's the entry, and let's make a transition. And a transition back, because why not? And, well, transition between the ship off and ship on, there's no exit time, doesn't matter this that much, there's no blending, it's pixel animation, so whatever. And conditions is on. If it's going to the chip, the platform chip on, then it's on, it's true. Going back, it's off, it's false. There you go, just need that. So there's this transition, there's no exit time. Let's make sure this also doesn't have exit time. And actually, let's make this the default one. Yeah, the on is the default one. Now, let's go back and let's check code, you know. In code we have the platform. The platform has a lot of code in here, you know. Now that we have an animator, we can access it to actually change the code, you know, the animations and all. We can look at the player and do something similar in there, you know. Let's just check that, and before we continue, let's remind chat to hydrate and posture check. I was getting thirsty right now. So, animation. Oh, Pixel John is back. So I had a question for you. There was animations in here that I didn't know what was the idea for them, you know. Was hoping that you could, you know, give me a light. Tell me all about it. So, I know these two are for the deactivated state, right? Now there is all of these ones. So, I have the idea that this is like moving, and this is moving to the sides, or not, or maybe this is just activated and this is moving and this is moving to the sides. I don't know. That was something that I would hope you to, you know, tell me so I could do it properly. Yeah, it's kind of that. One is moving vertically and the other is moving to the sides. Alright. So there's kinda that. Alright. So I will try to... Let me think. Because right now there is no thing that show you moving to the sides, you know? In the code you kinda move in one direction. You don't know what direction is, but you move in a direction. And to know if you do a move or not, it depends on, you know. Well, let's just do that, you know. You have the work making these things, so let's just do that. It kinda gives me extra... Well, let's do that later. For now, let's just end what I was doing, which is the most important thing. So, in here, we have the activated and deactivated states, and that's what I'm going to do. So, let's just move the platform in here and the player, just make it, you know, an idea. You can use the vertical one for when it's stationary, but activated, it was supposed to also be used for that in those platforms that only move after Ian is on them. Alright. That's actually something, yes. That's actually something that I'm going to do. No, the thing that I was Well, I have already said in chat, but you probably you weren't here, doesn't matter. The thing is, there's these sprites in here, right? They are just looking for one side. The system of the platforms is it's not like the player. The player moves around and has sides to move whatever. The platform moves differently. The platform moves by the transform position and not by physics, you know? That's why I can actually glue the Ian on top of the platform and not making him behave weirdly, you know? And so this is kinda stuff that I have to hard code to implement this in here, you know, this type of animation, which I'm fine to do that. That's not a big problem. That's actually entertaining to do because it's more content for the stream. Oh, I see. So use the vertical one for... Yes, I'm going to implement the vertical for now, and then I will implement a system to see if it's moving more horizontally than vertically, and then choose if it's the moving to the sides animation or not. Yeah. So, to update animations, I actually need stuff, which is I need an animator, so let's just do that. Whatever that is, I actually need the animator. Do I have a start? Yes, I have. Fantastic. So I can make a need. There is a... Let me see, can move. Yes, indeed. We have that. Fantastic. So, if you can move... Well, I could do something that doesn't matter. So, if you can move, I'm going to pick up our animation. So, anim dot set bool, and let's just set our bool, which is on, and if you can move, it's true. Else, do the same thing, but opposite, which means false. There we go. This is the start thing. Now, because, you know, platforms is something that we can activate and deactivate, I'm going to do this in here as well. So there's deactivate and deactivate. So we can just, you know, copy this. Or do we? Why doing this in here if I can do something else? Be smart. Be smart. So, private update. Come on. Private void update anim. To update animations. In this I can just do that. So, in here I update the animations, you know, and then I can just call them in here, and because I can move true and can move false, I can as well, you know, work smart and not hard, and do this. And there you go. So, if I activate, I update the animation, if deactivate, update the animation, start, update the animation as well, and on update animation there is the on and the off. There we go. Fantastic. So, let's see. More things in chat. So use vertical for now, I have read that before, so if it ends up being an edit to implement that system, I can always slightly redo the sprite so that there's only the activated stationary and the activated moving. Don't worry about that. It's something that will take a minute or two, if, well, probably more, but don't worry about that. I'm actually doing my job. Well, of course you are doing that to me. Why are you doing that? Why are you like that? Why you have to do this to me? Why you have to do this to me? Oh, there's errors, and there's something that I have forgot. Yes, I have forgot. Obviously, it's not doing the thing because it doesn't know what animation is going to work. Of course it will not work properly. And now it may. Let's see. It will work. It will not. There we go. It's working and the animation is running properly. Pixel John, I don't know if the speed animation is fine or not. You can fine tune it later as you wish. I have set it to 2. It's a slow animation. You can fine tune it later as you like. This is just some settings that I have eyeballed it just to make it work. Now, the thing that I want to show you is the activate and deactivate. It's good, later we'll see how we fine tune it. Yes, exactly. Now, script. Where I have the script. So, we have the can move. Let's stop the thing. Of course it will not work properly, the can move thing, because we don't have the deactivate thing and activate and deactivate, and I may get a bug if I do that. Oh, maybe not, because I have the start time in here, so it may not do the bug. It may or may not do the bug. I need a switch for this. So, before I get to the switch, I will need something. So, I will need to check if the horizontal movement is higher than the vertical to implement that horizontal thing. And well, to implement that, I actually need to, implement the animation itself, which is the moving to the sides. So let's just do it pretty quickly. So let's select in our platform, create a new clip, and let's call it on side. So platform chip on side. Let's just save it. Now we can select the moving to the side animation. Let's just give it a speed of 2. Play to see if it's properly doing the thing. I think it is. Maybe. Doesn't matter. What matters is our animator. So we have a new sprite. Now when it's moving to the side, there is the on and there is the side. We have the is on. And we'll have another, which is side. Make transition. And make a transition again. Do I make a transition back? Do I want a transition back? Because there's also... No, this is the default. There's also this one in here, so let's make a transition from on to here. So if I'm in here and the is on is false, so let's just remove the as exit time, and the condition is on false. If it's false, it goes to there. There you go. If it if it's on, well, it can check if it goes there, doesn't matter. Now, this transitions in here. So this go to platform ship on to the side if the east side is true. If the east side is not true, which means it's false, then it just goes to the animation, to the vertical animation. Let's just remove the exit time, just to not have funny animations. And there we go. Fantastic. This is the off, the false, is on false, is on false, it's on, and if it's, you know, to the side, it will go there as well. Fantastic. And when it's off, it goes to the off animation. Yeah. So, to the side animation is in there, this is east side, and so, don't go away, we want this. So we have the update anim in here. So this is the condition that will activate the is on animation, and so in this if we are going to make another condition. If whatever, so if a condition in there is true, I can make the is side there. Do I want to trigger the side animation or to be like that? Doesn't need to be triggered. It can be a bull, doesn't matter. So, false. There we go. Why you are yellow? Have you some kind of problem in here? Inaccessible. Oh, because there's the false in here, don't worry. So, I love me some condition skinky. Yes, that's not pretty, you know. But if it works, well, it works. That's the thing. In here, I'm going to make a pretty condition in here, which is something that we are going to need. So, there is these things in here, you know, there's these dots. These dots, it's basically the target for our moving platform. And when a platform touches this thing, it will need to know if it will show the moving to the side animation or moving up animation. That's the thing. Now let me just check if there is stuff that I need to, you know, do. There is for the player, that's fine by me. There's this as well, which is done by the thing. Yeah, because there's only 2 waypoints for the platform, that's fine. Alright, so we have 2 dots in here, right? We have the first dot and the second dot. Now we are going to need to check our index, you know, because it's the dot that we are going to follow, what we are following, and in what direction is. That's what we need. So let's just do that, right? So vector 3 dot direction. How does one do the direction of 2 points? Time for Google. So unit in direction. Let us see. I could actually do something different. This is simple math, you know, I just want easy to make thing. Yeah, so I got the thing. Yes, so I will need to make a pretty big thing in here. Which is, I will need a vector, so if this is true, vector 3 direction will be equals to, let's just say, I want the values to be, do I? No, I don't need them to be normalized. So, I want the transform position of this platform minus the transform position of our target. So how do I know the target? Transform position, there's the index, which is the waypoints, and math F, smooth step, waypoint. I have done this the previous stream and I already forgot what is this. I know it's the smoothing movement between two dots, you know. And yeah. So basically, I'll do the easy way, which is index dot position. There you go. Now we have an X and a Y axis. So basically I'll just need to see if the Y axis is positive or negative. As well, I'll need to see if the X is higher or lower than the Y. So let's just make the div dot X. If it is, the X is lower than the dir dot Y, and that might create a problem. Because I might want the absolute in these values. How does one get the absolute? You gotta start commenting your code. Yes, I really need. Well, I understand what this is doing right now. I understand this. So there's not a big problem in here. So this is basically, it's doing the opposite of this one. It's actually what it's doing. So it can swap between dots. Doesn't matter. The waypoint that we want to move is this one, it's the index, so I don't need these shenanigans in here, you know? So, basically, the absolute so I need the absolute value of that. Will I need to do that? I probably need to do that. God damn it. So, I need to do math f dot absolute and do this thing and if this value will be lower than the absolute of y, it means we have a bigger distance on the y-axis than the x-axis, and if the distance is bigger, then it can move to the side. There you go. There's also another thing that we may consider. So, let's just... yeah. Let's save this and let's check our animations. So we're just waiting a bit, play the thing, and playing the thing. Let's just see. So there is vertical, fantastic. Now if I click on this, move it somewhere else, for example in here, and play, we hopefully see movement on... Why you have to do that to me? Why you have to do that to me? It's working on my head, but it's not working on the game, as per usual. God damn it. So, what's got wrong in here? If only your head was a game engine. Yes, indeed. If only my head was a game engine. So, for those of you that are going and seeing what I'm trying to do, so basically I'm trying to see the position of the platform compared to the waypoints that I want to move. And if that waypoint is basically if they are more horizontal movement than vertical, then I want it to activate the side animation. Just to make sure, let's guarantee that it's working. Just to make sure. So play the animation. Let's see. It is not. Why you don't work? That's my question. We have the update anim, the script is saved, alright, so update animation, update animation, update animation, fine, just fine. So is save. If I copy this wrong or anything like that? No, I haven't. So, it's true, it's side, right? This is saved. Now it's on, fantastic, it's on. Let's just confirm. East side it's false, east side true. Let's play it. It's not doing the thing. Oh, maybe this is working. Maybe this is actually working. But just make sure this is not doing something naughty. Let's just not bonk the code and, you know, say that it is not doing something that we don't want it to do, you know? Yeah, it's actually doing what I want. Fantastic. So, we know this is working. Somehow, it's checking things, but it is not checking the thing that we want.
So interpolates between min and max with smoothing at the limits. So maybe this is the minimum value and this is the maximum value. That's T, which is, you know, float T. What is T again? Oh, there is this. It's the duration time. So this is the start, I think, and this is the ending. So maybe we actually need the percentage too. So we may need that. Is it fixed? Is it not fixed? We shall see. Let's move this and check. It's not fixed. God damn it. God damn it. So we know this is doing stuff. We know this is not triggering. The y-axis should be bigger, but why it's not? Is it trigger this to be the first one to move? I don't think so, so why are you doing this to me? Well, let's just do a console log. Which is debug log. Let's just forget that I was trying to program in another language. Let us give this some space. There you go. Now let's just see the values. What do you give us? Show us the way. So I think it's comparing to the first one. This is the first one, right? This is the first one. And this is the next one. If I select platform, the first one is the way, the second one is this one. Fantastic. So, if it's not indexed, blah blah blah, then let's make us this. This one. If it's not one, it must be the other, right? Let's see. Alright, something is happened in here. This value is 10 and this is 0.01. I'm confused. What if I just swap it? Move there, move where you were, there we go. What values will you show if I do this? Now it's vertical. Alright. Alright. And I'm basically dumb because, you know, the X needs to be higher for the size to be true. And it's done. Not quite. Not quite. because there is another thing that I need to do as well. So there's the animation of the platform. Let's just check this. So the animation of the platform doesn't have mirror, but sprite render, there it is. And this is the sprite on X. What do you want? God damn it. Have I asked you something? Freaking panda eggplant, always annoying us with a freaking question. Unity vs Godot for 2D games? Well, my answer is Godot. Although we are making this game on Unity, so that's contradicting question. Hello there, Rutsy. Oh, hello there. Hello there. If you are using Unity... Oh, I see. So, Panda confused me because it started making sound. So, Rusty, welcome. Welcome to our stream. My brain was just, well, fixating on the code, so yeah. Kaado is not a bot. Well, am I not a bot? Am I a human? Do I have passed the click "you are not a bot" thing? Yes. So let's just see. Why is your answer Godot? Well, I can explain. It's well, there's a lot of things. I like Unity and I like Godot, but they are a little bit different. So, Godot is the programming language of Godot, which is GDScript. I know you can program in C# as well, but GDScript it's there is higher, lower level of programming language. Well, it's an easier programming language, but because it's heavily inspired on Python. So if you know Python, you know GDScript basically. If you have the Godot documentation at hand, which you actually have that documentation in the gaming engine, by the way, you don't even need internet to program on that engine because you have the documentation right in there. More, it's open source, no royalties, no nothing. So if your game makes more than $100,000, you don't need to buy subscriptions for every seat, for every person using Unity on your studio. You can just use whatever you want. Don't need to pay those licenses because it's the monetization thing of Unity. Actually can be different because I believe now it has changed, but you know, open source versus this thing. More, it's way lighter than Unity, swapping between Visual Studios, doing something, saving, going to Unity, it always compiles and takes time, and you know that's sometimes annoying me. And in Godot that doesn't happen. You know, you code, you switch to game, you test and you code, and you don't lose too many time in there as well. And yeah, but there's also disadvantage, you know, every game engine there's advantages and disadvantages to it, you know. So for example, a huge thing on Unity is that you can actually port to consoles. For example, Nintendo Switch. If I want to port Droian for the Nintendo Switch, I can do it on Unity. I can do it on Godot, but I will need to use third-party companies to do that, and I may not be inclined to do it, you know? So there's a big disadvantage for Godot is that. Another big disadvantage for Godot, it doesn't have as many tutorials and documentation like Unity, you know. Unity, there is a lot of documentation for Unity online, so you need to be online to have that documentation, but you have a lot, and you have a lot of ways to learn it. Opposed to Godot, you don't have as much tutorials. You kind of rely on the community, for that. There's also the monetization of games. Unity is, for what I know, for mobile, it's the strongest Unity platform for ads, because every single game I see uses the Unity ads thing on the mobile games, and Godot doesn't have any of that. There's also the asset store. Unity, there's a lot of assets that you can acquire on the asset store and basically Lego up a game and release it very fast. There's not that on Godot. Well, there is pros and cons. It depends on the game that you are doing. So yeah, that's my answer, Rusty. But yeah, I prefer Godot. I'm an open source for tools advocating here. I believe the tools should be easy to access, and the product should be the thing that it's monetized, I'm fine with the way Unity is monetized. By the way, it's not something that I'm, bothered. In small studios, Unity is pretty much fine because you don't need a lot of license for every person using Unity, because you don't have a lot of people, so it's fine. Unreal uses a different type of monetization. It's by percentage. It differs depending on where you release the game. But for example, if you create a game on Unreal and release it on Steam, you pay 5% of royalties for Unreal if the game makes more than 1 million. If you make 1 million, what is 5%? If you make 1 million, I will be really happy to pay 5% to Unreal. But I will actually be even more happier if I kept that 5%, which I do with Godot. And I actually do it with Unity as well. But if I make 1 million, I will need to buy a license to keep working with Unity. So yeah, it depends on the engine. Yes, and how about you? What game engine do you prefer? I'm actually curious to know. So, before we continue, let's just hydrate. Drinking water is always healthy. I was going to work in Unity, but I haven't tried Godot. I recommend you do that. Before you start a project, it's actually that I have teached in my previous class. I use it to teach video game development in universities. And I have done a class which is game engines, and I actually encouraged students to work on different game engines. So basically the curriculum it's Unity. So universities are really focused on Unity, with the exception in some zones here in Portugal. I'm talking about degrees of game development in Portugal. So they really focus on Unity, with exceptions here and there, but it's basically Unity. And one thing that I actually like, I started to develop in Unreal, I really like that game engine. It is super popular. The documentation, I actually think it's better than Unity, the documentation from Unreal, because there's actually in-depth tutorials, not only in video, but written tutorials. Opposite to Unity, there's more, official tutorials are more written, opposed to the YouTube tutorials made for your friendly YouTuber that may teach you to do properly or may teach you to do not so well optimized stuff, So you may think you are doing it properly by following a Unity tutorial on YouTube, and you can, it will work, but it can be not the most optimized thing in the world, It could be slow and sluggish and not the proper way of doing things. while in Unreal you can follow the tutorials, and that opened the world to do it on other engines. For example, the third engine that I have, well, actually I have messed around with multiple engines before I started study, but that's another story for another day. So the third engine that I actually make a game on was Construct, which was part of a game jam. The requirements were to make the game on Construct, so I dipped my toes on other engines. The fourth was RPG Maker, and then I tried other game engines, and I really like Kaado. The last time I tried Kaado was when we tried to make the new Exauria. So if you are curious, we have a YouTube channel with the previous VOD, which we are making another game in Kaado. Let me just show you real quickly. So let's just ugs.pt. We have other games in alpha state, by the way. This is not a full release. So you have Droian, which is the game that we are developing right now. Redrun is developed at Unity as well, but Exauria is actually being developed in Kaado. The version on itch.io that I have developed is not it's not the Kaado version. It's the JavaScript P5 version that we have made for a class. For a university class, you know. But we actually love this game. We decided to make it from the ground up to actually a full game, and we are making it on Kaado, and I actually enjoy that process. It's pretty cool, that engine. And if you are interested in seeing that development, we have available on our YouTube channel. There is VODs of the streams. It's like 2 to 4 hours. Actually not. It's like 1 hour and a half to 2 hours usually. At least on the game development. It's old VOD stream. I probably need to scroll away to catch one. Let me see. This one. This is an Exauria. There you go. Exauria code. Blah blah blah. If you search Kaado or Exauria, you'll see at least myself working on Kaado. It's actually a good one, and I recommend you to look that up. Try to do some tutorials on YouTube, follow some tutorials on Unity, follow as well some tutorials on Kaado. Try different game engines. By the way, there's other game engines. For example, if you are more of an artist, you may find yourself trying Game Maker as well. By the way, there's other game engines that you can, dip your toes and see if you like them or not, and see if they are the best game engine to use for your game. That's the most important thing. It's to use the right game engine for your project. So, do you do your art yourself? I'm the programmer of the group. Here at UGS we are actually a team. So right now we have a team of 4 people active in UGS. So we have Marketing Girl, we have Pixel John, he's actually in chat, he does the art. So you have our narrative / sound, our Satan in the house, he's do some narrative and create our world. It's pretty cool ideas that he does. And myself, the coder, the lead programmer, the one that make the art move in game and gameplay and stuff, And of course we have other projects. So we have Redrun, which is a 2D platformer, horror type game. There is also an alpha version of this game on our itch.io. And yeah, there you go. How did you all get together? It was on university. So we were attending the same master degree. Marketing Girl was actually the girlfriend and fiance now of Pixel John. And we before started the team. So I'm not a good artist. I have been trying to learn pixel art for my game, but it's been a little discouraging so far. Yes. Another small story. Before I attended the university, when I was like working at a factory and not knowing what I want to do with my future, I didn't know that if I wanted to be an artist or a programmer or whatever. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I kinda decided to try and dip my toes on the artist side, and as it ended up, I'm not really good at it. But, well, I found my purpose, which is programming, you know. I tried different areas, because game development, there is a lot of areas. Despite from the YouTubers trying to romanticize this single indie developer, making a game solo and whatnot, well, in reality, if you want to make a proper game and you are not a genius, you kinda need to focus on your area. And there's multiple areas, but I like to say there is 5. So you have the design, so you need to design your game, which is an idea of your game and how it's going to work and whatnot. You need narrative, which is basically the story of your game, the world of your game, how it works, the story, the characters, and so on. That's formed on the narrative. Now, gameplay is king, which is the programmer side. So you need to program the game. The game needs to be programmed to actually be playable. That's the gameplay side, which is the programmer. Then there's the artist, which is the other important area, which is to make the art of our game. And then there's, the sound, which is another important thing. Now there's other areas that you cannot forget. You can make a very pretty cool game, a very nice game, and that game will not be sold because no one knows that the game exists. So there's other areas like marketing. So that's a very important thing to do, market your game, otherwise no one will know it exists, so no one will buy it. And management is another big area that it's important to focus on, because if no one knows what they need to do, the game kinda takes way more time to be made, so, There's other areas, but to make a game, design, narrative, programming, art, and sound. If you want to sell it, marketing. And if you want to make a game actually on time and if it's viable or not, management as well. And there's others, but there you go. Yes, even if you don't find like-minded people on your master's degree, don't worry, there's a lot of communities of game development online. I really recommend people to go to game jams. So please, if you are interested in game development, just go online, search some game jams. I'm sure you will find Discord channels that you can enter, and you probably will find people that want to participate in a game jam. So basically a game jam, if you don't know what it is, or for the people that watching, if they don't know what a game jam is, basically you make a game in a very small time. A game. You kind of make a wannabe game, because game jam games are never finished. And you need to go to a game jam with the idea that you will not finish the game. So usually they take from a weekend to an entire week to be done. Usually they are not bigger than that. There's some monthly game jams, but they are rare. So usually it's just a weekend. So I recommend you to join a game jam. Usually there's people that can form a group, or you can go by yourself, but I recommend you to join group. And you will quickly see yourself, doing the art side, or doing the programming side or doing, sounds. You can be responsible for the design, coming up with the ideas. If you are good with sound, UI, which is very important, creative UI like the start menu, the buttons, and the bars for the health bars if there's combat and so on, Dip your toes. It's fun. I swear, I'm not suffering from game development. I'm having fun. I am not having a gun point to my head. Actually, well, it's fun game development. There is a lot of work, a lot of ethics, and a lot of cursing. But yeah, I actually enjoy. And thank you for the Prime sub. It actually helps us. Thank you very much. Yes, brainstorming is very important. I recommend having multiple ideas before you start the game, so brainstorm some ideas for the game, and if you are starting, I really recommend you to start small. Imagine the simplest game that you can do. It could be just a tapping game. Just tap. It could be something like, when it's red, don't tap. If it's green, tap. And try do a game around a small idea, and go from there. And then from a small game could be a little new feature, for example, a character that moves around, and then then the next game could be a character that moves around and shoots, and then the next idea could be a character that moves around that shoots targets, and then those targets could move, and those targets that could move can become enemies, and snowball from there. But I recommend you to start small games. If you are starting, if you already have some experience making games, that's another question. Well, let's just try to finish the game because we are approaching 8 o'clock. So what was I missing? Yes, the side that this should move. So let's just make this move to the left or to the right. So right now it's not flipped and it's moving to, well, the sprite is the left one. We don't want that. Let's just select this so we know what I'm talking about. So the horizontal movement of our platform, if you notice, it's moving and the things are, well, here it's fine, but then it moves there, and it's not fine moving in here. So if it's side, if it's moving to the side, I will need to flip the sprite, basically. So let's just see. So there's this. Let me just make sure. I'm doing it properly. So private void swap waypoint. Yeah, I can do the swap thing in here. Yes, I can do it in here. And so I cannot, because the pivot point is in the center. If I flip the sprite, let's just select our platform. If I flip the sprite of this platform, it's not going to screw around our things, which is fine. So if I swap the points that I'm moving, I can basically get component, sprite, render, and flip X. Right? What should I do in here? So there's get and there's set. Oh, I need to, true. Right? Is that what you want? What you want in here? Sprite renderer, flip X can't be done. Okay, I do this. So let's just. So it's not gonna work because I want to flip it. I want to swap the direction. There you go. So if it swap the points, it's going to go to another side, and if it's going to another side, then I want to flip the sprite on the x-axis. There you go. There's links appearing in the chat. Let me see if there's nothing dangerous. I think it's not. Moderators are on it, so let's see. Do you have examples of one of those look like? I'm just using Trello boards right now to plan things. The first thing that I have programmed that it's game-like, it was actually a programming exercise which is discover the number. So there was a number, a random number between 1 and 10, and you have to input a number, which is 1, 2, 3, whatever. It will, in an if state, check if it was equal, higher or lower, and if it was equal, it will write a message, congratulations, you found the number. If it was lower, it will be say, wrong number, it's the number you want, it's higher, and if you have entered a higher number, it will, write a lower number. It was one of the first exercises of programming. Well, actually I'm lying because the first exercise of programming was boring C programming stuff, like doing mathematical equations, plus, minus, and whatever. But when I started learning programming for games, that was the first thing that I have done. It was a command line game to discover what was the random number, That is okay. I think the links are all okay. It's some GDDs. Yes, but don't forget the idea is to be simple. Simple ideas, simple games. Everyone that's starting, well, when we started our group, we wanted to make an RPG, which is Exauria. Well, that ended up in the old on game, and we are now making Droian because we don't have a lot of time to make Exauria, because it's a huge game and we want to release something. So the biggest recommendation that I tell everyone that's starting, always start small, simple. The simple thing that you can imagine. You can see one of the biggest games released on mobile, on cell phones, was Flappy Birds. It's a freaking simple game. It's a game with some physics attached, and you just tap and the bird jumps, and there's some colliders, and if the bird touches the colliders you lose. If it doesn't touch, +1 score. Yep, simple game, made millions, there you go. So always try to start small, something small. Brainstorm some ideas. That's my recommendation. Especially if you are learning, start small. And that's a very cool example. Flappy Birds. The art, well, I don't need to comment the art of Flappy Birds. It's
Even the bird doesn't have an animation, it's a static image. Yep. Programming, very easy to do. There's some physics in there, but if you are making on Unity or Godot or wherever, following a physics tutorial will be very easy to do. So, yeah, have small ideas and try to make them. But first, before you do that, actually go to a YouTube channel, follow the tutorial, like a beginner's tutorial for Unity or beginner tutorial for Godot. Follow the tutorial, learn the basics of that engine and that programming language, and then try to do something of your own, something small. And then, as I have said, increment and increment, new features, and before you know it, you are making big games. But always start small. Don't do our mistakes. So, I believe this may be done. Let's just check if it's working correctly. It is not. So I don't need this debug thing anymore. What I need is to... Well, I didn't save it. Of course it's not working if I don't save the code. Well, this didn't happen if I was in Godot. I wouldn't have the problem of saving the file and waiting it to compile. Well, it compiles, but it's fast, you know. So let's just see. Scene. Wait. So I'm trying to click the scene while I'm playing to see the platform. Come on, let me see the scene. Not working. God damn it. What am I doing wrong? Let me see. What am I doing wrong? Get components, sprite renderer. I'm accessing the sprite renderer, right? Yes, indeed. Let me just check some animations. So platform, side, play. While it's playing, let's just, you know, do this. It should work, but it is not working. Sprite renderer, why are you not getting the sprite renderer? And then set this properly. Okay, let's just do the right thing. So private sprite renderer, sprite renderer. I didn't have the game object thing, so probably that, but maybe not. Let's just go with it. So we have the anim and we have the sprite renderer equals to game object dot get component sprite renderer. Now we have our sprite renderer. We don't need to do multiple get components, so it's more optimized. So I'm actually doing the proper thing. And so what I'm doing is basically getting the flip X, telling it to
do the opposite, because the flip X from the sprite render, it's basically a boolean to tell if it's true or not to flip, you know? And if it's true, now it's going to be false. And if it's false, now it's going to be true because of this exclamation point. So, will you work? Let's see. Hydrate, thank you very much. Let's just confirm and look at the flip. Why are you not doing this? Why are you like that? You should be doing this. Come on. It invokes, it should swap, but it doesn't. This works, but this doesn't. Let's just, you know, check this. Just confirm, you know? Play, please. Okay, it's doing stuff. Thank you. Shall not be capturing. False. So there's false, there's false. It's doing always false for some reason. It should do the opposite, so equals to exclamation point. Do I need to do something stupid like this? Is that what you want? No, it isn't. I don't understand why it's just printing false. This is a boolean. It should swap. Where is it? Platform, flip, play. Come on, do things properly. I forgot. This must be turned on. Play. Come on, don't be like the usual thing and ending a stream with a bug. It's true, but it doesn't swap. And it's going to be true again. I don't understand. I really don't. Well, I need to study a little bit more on how Unity goes around with this thing in here, because, well, there's some gremlins I need to polish out. But that's it for today. I will need to go to dinner. And, you know, before we go, let's just pause the music, because it's not needed right now, and let's just do the plugging stuff. And while I do that, I'm just going to ask if there is already a raid target planned or not. Let's just open Edge. There we go. And so ugs.pt is our website, link is in the description as well. In here you can, see the About Us page, so learn a little bit more about ourselves, our team. So there's me, with a description of myself. Well, kinda. It's, I hate these guys. Maybe one day you will see gameplay of the new Zelda. I haven't played it yet, and I'm dying inside because Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time, and I have played the new one. Well, when I have time. Well, when a programmer have time. That's the question. But anyway, there's our Satan narrative boy that creates beautiful stories and, more shenanigans. Pixel artist, Pixel John is in the chat, and marketing girl. She is or was in the chat, marketing stuff, actually telling people that our game exists to be sold, Yeah, that's our team. We actually have socials, so if you know where the next time that we are streaming you can access in there. Well, we actually have days that we are streaming, so we stream every Wednesdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. Lisbon London time. And when we are not streaming, we can catch us on Discord, so you can join us there. And there's also other platforms like Instagram, TikTok. I'm not in there, but Marketing Girl dominates that field. Twitter, Facebook for boomers like myself, and YouTube for VODs, because this stream will be available on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, and yeah, join us. I forgot about the each page, but yeah, so there's, let me see, they got a target, so yes, I can wrap up, and yep. So we have an itch IO page for our games, so let's just, so I click in here and don't go home. So marketing girl, Hoxie, my girl. If I click in here, please make it an hyperlink to go back, please. To go in here. If I click in here, yep. And yeah, each page you can see we have alpha for the X-Aria, Headrun, and the page for Droian. So it's the page for Droian. It's just description of the game that we were making, but if you are interested in trying something that we have done before, Headrun, a 2D platformer horror game, and also X-Aria, which is an RPG wannabe. By the way, the X-Aria is not indicated of what we are doing for the X-Aria, by the way. We have new versions. You can see the developed stage of X-Aria on our YouTube for previous streams. Headrun is on hold. And yep, Droian is what we are doing right now. And if you want to see more, please follow us on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube or whatever platform you are. And yeah, I hope to see you in the future. So to end and wrap things up, I hope you have a great weekend and see you next time on the same channel. The raid is starting. Yeah.